in Adventure Time Christmas, Holly Jolly Secrets Part 1 and Part 2. Now, this episode is about, Finn and Jake see some tapes that they found when they were digging something, and they decide to go in to see the tapes they saw from the Ice King. However, the Ice King recognizes that they're looking at some tapes in a secret party that they're throwing. Yeah, I can really understand where this is going. Well, the other people are not inviting the other person because the other person is evil. Even though the Ice King isn't noticing that he's evil, sometimes he's more serious and sometimes more goofy. I know that's his character, but even in this episode alone, for 2 parts, I still cannot like this character. Except for the second part, which I'll get to later. Now, what's my main problem with both of these 2-part episodes? It's the tapings. I know that Finn and Jake are just looking at the tapes and to understand what the Ice King is doing to do some evil thing, but most of the majority of Part 1 and Part 2 is just them looking at some tapes to see if they find evil that Ice King is doing. I know that the tapes are supposed to be funny, but it still bores me out. Here's the thing. Some of the episodes that I don't have a grudge with Adventure Time, I can understand that they're just trying to be their own thing, but I actually had episodes from the earlier seasons that I didn't like as well. And there's no excuse here. I can understand that the comedy is supposed to be coming from mostly from the other characters, but most of it is just looking at the tapes of what the Ice King is doing. I get that the Ice King is supposed to be funny and he's the same voice of SpongeBob, but that doesn't mean I can easily like everything in this episode. For one, it's predictable, except the ending of this episode. Now, most of it is just contained of Ice King just trying to get in, and I will admit, some of the jokes like this right here when he builds Snowman to face off Finn and Jake is actually pretty much one of the funny moments in this episode. Especially that they didn't listen to them because they didn't come to life until Ice King uses his powers to bring the Snowman to life after he completely explains everything. And during the tapes, I get they're supposed to be funny, but at the same time, it's just like watching some creepy kid who's just doing random YouTube videos. That's really what it is. Ice King is just doing random things with saying Marceline's song and doing other things like showing the kidnapped princesses. That wasn't until the end that we get to see Simon, who is before he became the Ice King. Now, when he was wearing his crown, he gets worse and worse and worse. In other words, turning into the Ice King. This is pretty much the biggest highlight in the entire special because the development that we get to see from Ice King and how before all this he became friends with Marceline and all that kind of stuff. This is pretty much the only part in this entire special that actually fixes up everything. The Ice King may be funny, but he has some personal secrets that he should never have anyone, even his friends, to know. If there's one thing that can make me watch this episode over and over again, it's mostly the ending where the Ice King completely has secrets about his past. The other parts in this episode isn't terrible, it's just boring for my taste. I have nothing against with the later seasons of Adventure Time because I just completely overshadowed everything, and this is one of them, mostly because of how boring it is. Now, there were other episodes that I did like in the earlier seasons, but I really try my best to watch all the episodes to like them. It's just that it's really hard to like something that can be trying, but at the same time, mostly boring. Most of the humor of this is kind of unique. I mean, I like the fact that they put videotapes in BMO's butt. It's PG, get used to it. And most of the heartwarming thing in this is probably the ending where they talk about Christmas, even though they never talk about the word Christmas in this episode. So they just completely explain that we should do this once a year. I know it's supposed to be a Christmas thing, but I still like it. I mean, it may be predictable, but at least I kind of like it for what it is. I mean, it really shows that the Ice King can be friendly, but also devastating, mean at some points. I mean, The Ice King just wants to do whatever he wants all because of the crown that he had. And before that, he was like an ordinary scientist, and now he's more of a psychotic kidnapper. I know I could give this show more chances, but at the same time, I give it way too many chances. I just can't get over the fact that all the stuff that changes in the show just gets even more confusing for me. Especially that this show is coming to an end for about several more months or so. But other than the stuff that this show has done to me, I still think that this episode is still worth the watch. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. I will review a lot of Adventure Time episodes, but I really don't want to go too far with my negativity on this show.